Einstein's equations of general relativity simply say the following. The Ricci curvature tensor minus 1/2 the metric tensor times the contracted curvature tensor is proportional to the stress energy tensor. All this says that if I start with a star, a black hole, or even a universe, that determines the curvature that surrounds that concentration of matter and energy. But inside these equations, there's a monster.
In the extreme gravity at the core of a black hole, Einstein's equations spiral wildly out of control.
After a very long, tedious calculation, I mostly get zeros, but the non-zero term is given as follows. M is the mass of the black hole. R describes the distance from the black hole. Here is the problem. Right there, when R is equal to 0, the point at which physics itself breaks down. So 1 over R equals 1 over 0 equals infinity. To a mathematician, infinity is simply a number without limit. To a physicist, it's a monstrosity. It means that, first of all, gravity is infinite at the center of a black hole, that time stops, and what does that mean? Space makes no sense. It means the collapse of everything we know about the physical universe. In the real world, there's no such thing as infinity. Therefore, there is a fundamental flaw in the formulation of Einstein's theory.
According to Einstein, then, all the mass of the black hole is contained within an infinitely small point that takes up precisely no space at all. This impossible object of infinite density and infinite gravity is called the singularity.
We know what a singularity is. A singularity is when we don't know what to do.
To me, what's so embarrassing about a singularity is that we can't predict anything about what's going to come out of it.
The singularity at the heart of a black hole is both astronomically heavy and infinitesimally small. To understand it, quantum mechanics alone wasn't enough. It needed to be extended to describe gravity, a theory called quantum gravity. The most obvious way to create such a theory was to make a quantum version of Einstein's theory of relativity. Proof of its success would be a new understanding of black holes that explained what really happens in a singularity.
This is the Lagrangian of Einstein's theory, equal to the determinant of the metric tensor times the contracted Ricci curvature tensor.
When physicists tried to combine the two theories, they encountered a familiar problem.
I insert this into the probability that gravity will move from one point to another point. When I actually do this calculation, I get yet another integral, and when you do this integral, you get something which makes no sense whatsoever: an infinity. Total nonsense. In fact, you get an infinite sequence of infinities, infinitely worse than the divergences of Einstein's original theory. This is a nightmare beyond comprehension.